All right, let's go. Ayo, we're three hot guys sharing our opinions because we're special and different. Gold medals, we're winning. Can't help it if we're burdened by our intellect. You can play checkers while we pretend we know the rules to chess. The council has spoken, and we are the chosen. Your nose is broken because I broke it.
And welcome back to another episode of Will of the Council. It's your boy Joseph. I've got Jordan in the booth.
I've got my magnifying glass out. I'm looking to detect wokeness.
We've got Danny in the middle of probably the most important Excel spreadsheet ever crafted.
Yep. I just built this spreadsheet myself. It looks like Jordan, you're looking a little sussy to me.
Oh no.
Did you create the game Leisure Suit Larry number 5? Because you sound
I've been found out. I'm a double agent on behalf of wokeness.
a little woke.
We've got Becky on the ones and twos. Listen, everybody. Today, I'm sorry you're going to have to endure this. We are talking about, I don't know if you've seen this, the woke content detector curated list of games.
Incredible.
What an insane sentence, by the way. Just what world do we live in now?
Dude, I think I even said this before on the pod talking about something similar, but these people don't enjoy anything anymore, right?
No,
Like,
of course
wrong.
not.
Just long gone.
They enjoy making spreadsheets.
If you're unfamiliar with what this is a spreadsheet which contains, honestly, like pretty much every game released over the last 15 years, along with a recommendation as to whether it is or is not woke. And there's very, very few games on the not woke section. I would say it says about 365 games on the non-woke section, as opposed to in the not recommended section, there are like 900, and in the informational, which includes games that are both woke and games that are non-woke, but have woke sub-themes, there's like another 300. So, I mean, would you consider giving money to, like, I there's just a lot going on here. I guess we should probably start by making fun of the games that are on the not woke section.
Oh, yeah.
Team Fortress 2 is not woke, but I mean, you got to load up a game at some point. There's like 7 or 8 Final Fantasy games, which like hilarious. BioShock 2, no woke content. I mean, big dubs for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links did make it onto the non-woke section of the...
Oh my goodness gracious.
Not woke.
As did Master Duel. What the fuck? You've never seen the Eldritch animation? What's your fucking problem,
You
man?
know, I have a funny tidbit for the Master Duel one, but keep going.
Well, if you are concerned that you're not going to be able to play quality games here, did you know that Humongous Entertainment Studios is apparently the least woke organization ever, because Freddy Fish and Luther's Maze Madness, Freddy Fish and Luther's Water Worries, Freddy Fish in the Case of the Missing Kelpsies, Freddy Fish 2 Case of the Haunted Schoolhouse, Freddy Fish 3 Case of the Stolen Conch Shell, Freddy Fish 4 Case of the Hogfish Rustlers of Briny Gulch, Freddy Fish 5 featuring Mess Hall Mania, the Case of the Creature from Coral Cove, but also... Puppa joins the parade. Puppa goes to the moon. Puppa and Fatty Bear Adventures Pack.
Oh my
Puppa
God.
and Pep Balloon-O-Rama. Puppa and Pep's Dog on a Stick. Puppa travels through time. Puppa enters the race. Puppa joins the circus. Puppa Pep's birthday surprise. Oh my God, wait, the Pajama Sams are on here? That's literally wrong. In the second Pajama Sam, like, you hang out with a lesbian couple for 60% of the game. Wait, why is Spy Fox on here? He's bisexual. It's Bayonetta is on the non-woke section. All the Half-Lifes are on the non-woke section. It's so good, dude.
It's like some of the justifications for this is very funny. Because it'll be like, not recommended, contains overtly pro DEI messaging, allows the player to create lore inaccurate dark-skinned and or beardless dwarves.
You can just say you're racist.
Lore inaccurate
you're
beardless
racist.
dwarves.
Just say
Oh
you're
my God.
racist. It's fine.
It's so
It's
awesome.
not fine, but
I like there's some really good ones on
It's
here.
fine.
Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. MC is saved by his girlfriend, who is pregnant, and manages to fight off a wave of Nazis. What do you think Wolfenstein 2 is about?
No kidding.
You beat Nazis in this game. That makes it woke.
Okay,
Yep.
I
It's so
also
good.
there's a to be announced date.
Oh.
So if you search that, one of the to be announced games is Yandere Simulator.
Do they think it's woke or not
They
woke?
think it's informational, which is like
Ooh,
which is like mid woke, you know? Like
yeah,
it
I
could
would say
be.
probably you have to worry less about it being woke and more about it coming out in the first place, right?
And I'm like also thinking, how would you even know if it's woke? Well, you just have to like watch the trailer and be like, woke, that's woke. That's super woke, actually.
There's actually some fantastic ones in the woke section. We have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
No politique.
There's a woman in it.
No politique.
Yeah, it's because the character creation menu lets you be non-binary. They let you make the cisgender
Yeah.
millennial
Oh,
with
right.
anxiety from
Yep,
the
classic
CIA
wokeness.
commercial.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't
for
like
sure.
Reagan in that game get to like call you, like talk to you, and we were all like joking on it because they were gonna be like, oh, Reagan is woke because he says they them.
Yeah, Reagan's gonna use they them pronouns.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know you were one of them. He would say it like that. Yeah. EA Sports PGA Tour is on here.
Dead Space
I can't really tell
is
why.
on there. Dead Space is
Okay,
on there,
well,
which I think is funny.
That's true though.
Yeah, Dead Space very woke.
Very woke.
There's a lot of these that are like games for like 4-year-olds, like that say stuff like, "Hey, happy that you're here. Remember to be yourself." And they're like, "No, you can't say that shit to me."
This is awesome. I need to start viewing things this way. Just I want to look through the lens of the people that have like the negative IQ points to have to do this in order
Oh,
to like
fuck.
enjoy things.
Bug Snacks is woke.
I knew it.
Oh,
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
Here's why. The NPC Floofty Fizzlebean is non-binary. Oh, not Floofty Fizzlebean, man. I can't have my kid looking at Floofty Fizzlebean. I do like half of them are like that, and the other half are like this one. Queer and Chill by Team Spicy Bubble. Like, yeah, I don't think you're going to accidentally buy that one.
I just some descriptions are just like they don't even make sense. Like Portal is
Oh!
woke, by the way. Contains
They have Portal on here because it's all women.
that's what like there's one character. What?
Awesome.
It's 100%.
Awesome.
They're like
Awesome.
mad that Wheatley didn't like actually save the day. Like you put him in GLaDOS and he's like, "All right, I got it from here." And the game just ends 4 hours in. It's like, you're done.
They say it's overtly anti-patriarchy messaging. What is the messaging? The robot's just trying to kill you the whole time.
Yep.
I guess like Cave Johnson was wrong is like an anti-woke statement or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, is that Portal 1 though? It's just her, right? It's just the robot.
It's just a tech demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's awesome.
One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. I'll give you one guess about why that's on here.
Whoa.
There's
I
a
know.
woman in it.
Yamato. It's 100% Yamato.
Yeah,
I don't even have to
it
check.
is. You
I don't
got
even have
it
to check.
one.
It's Yamato.
You got it in one, baby.
I forgot.
All the Homestuck games are on here. Oh my god, that's good. What if they were woke for like awful reasons? It's like, why are the Homestuck reasons on here? It was really ableist of them to take money from struggling teenagers in 2013 without rewarding them for a game for another decade. There's also like some porn games on here. There's like jacking off to, gigantus games, and it's like women would never be that big in real life. That's woke.
That's so woke.
It's just such a fantastic artifact of the way that we think about media in the 2000s. It's like, before I can engage with this, I need someone to tell me what side of the culture war the video game is on. And the fact that for so many people, that's like a deal breaker is just so funny. Oh, Disco Elysium made it on. I wonder
woke.
why.
Definitely not woke. Why would that game be woke at all?
No. It's just, I don't know. The fact that like the fallout of the whole Gamergate era of culture is now this like just thorn in the side of constant society, where now there is a subset of people that are so interested in the culture war that it's all they can look at. They can't view things normally anymore. Like their brain has become so poisoned
just
by
melted.
Because nobody used to do this shit. Like,
sort of.
I mean, yeah, but like,
it's a little frustrating that like the end result of this movement that obviously was, just completely cynical from second one.
Yeah.
But was like, we demand like a higher standard for like video games, is we are going to play as few of them as possible, and the only ones we play are going to be like the new COD, provided they don't have they them pronouns. And it's like, dude, like, can you just have you considered just like taking up a hobby that's like walking,
or just playing the games you play?
Yeah,
you say you play, which you definitely don't. Like, there's just no way. I don't know, like, I'm such a friggin', simple man. I'm like, play game good, game bad, like.
Why do you think Bloons Tower Defense 6 ended up on the woke games list?
How?
No way.
In the trophy store, there is a pride flag, which has a pro-pride message on it.
This reminds me of when people were like mad at Celeste and they were like, look at that. It's shoving it in my face. And it's like,
yeah,
look at
what?
What are you talking about? And it's like, see the little flag on her desk. And it's like 3 pixels at most.
I do like Hades is on here. And the reason is homosexual relationship between minor characters, optional homosexual romance. The NPC Chaos is non-binary. The NPC Dusa says she is asexual. Listen, like, are you familiar with the Greeks?
The Greeks, like, have you read a single Greek like myth?
The number one thing I knew about the gods is that they were very reserved in their sexuality.
For sure.
They were so unwoke, Zeus. See,
like it had to be a very attractive goat before he would jump. Holy shit.
No.
All right, you guys want to do some posts?
Post time.
I'm sick of fucking gamers. It's time to look at some Redditors now.
Redditor. This is a Redditor.
Redditors.
Out of the frying pan and into the fire. We got 3 bangers today from 3 different subreddits.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Firstly, this first one comes from r/am_I_overreact, and it's 9 days ago.
Oh, this is a new one. We haven't done this one yet, have we?
We have not. It's where people post who are in the process of being gaslit. I do like that 300,000 people are in this subreddit that mostly exists for people to be like, my boyfriend stabbed me, and then I screamed and he said, stop being so dramatic. Am I overreacting? And then all the comments are like, run, 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 run. And then there's one comment at the bottom that's like, you're crazy, you made that up,
And it's the boyfriend.
Yeah. All right, this comes from user Blueberry Mental 5656. It says, am I overreacting? My boyfriend won't let me store something at his house.
True.
Okay.
You're not.
Some thoughts here.
Actually, you are. Stop it.
Okay, hold up. I'm willing to call it right now.
Okay.
Because if you were in the right, would you ever describe your problem as, they won't let me store something in their house?
Yeah, not naming what it is.
You would say what it is, right? Like, what is it? It's a fucking dead body.
This is going to be
a
a callback to our I think it was it our very first post
the
with
leg?
the leg?
Yeah.
And we discovered
his emotional
they stole
support
the
leg.
leg. Yeah, they stole it. They stole it.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
man.
so funny. Wasn't he trying to like engineer a scenario where he would be a folk hero for returning of the leg?
Yes.
He was. I can't believe he did get away with that. That was such a good plan.
So
All right.
awesome.
Am I overreacting? My boyfriend will let me store my emotional support leg at his house. All right.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I, F36, have been with my boyfriend, M36, for 8 months. Okay, so these two are adults, which is not usual for this.
True.
Hi,
this
I
podcast.
F21 and my boyfriend M38.
This is also
hold up.
pre-year in their relationship. Like they haven't hit
8
a year
months
yet.
in.
Yeah. Okay.
We got in a fight, which we hardly ever do.
Okay.
I think there are deeper things at play here, and I'll try to briefly mention them. We don't live together, and I have fears that it will take a long time for him to get to that point of engagement moving in, because I know he moves very slowly, and I am already at the point where I'd be willing to take those steps.
No, that's
I'm
fair.
trying to remember everyone moves differently and to build a relationship, but here's where I think I overreacted. I have an indoor pet rabbit who I cannot leave alone for more than 2 days. So when I'm staying at my boyfriend's house for a few days, I bring an X pen to keep him in there. Do you know what an X pen is?
No, I have no idea.
No.
It's like a cage that collapses.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's easy to put up and down, but it is heavy and it's large for me to carry in and out of my car, so I was under the impression I could flatten it out and store it against the wall in the back of a closet when not in use. I did this for a few weeks, and I was very grateful to my boyfriend for making it easy in that regard, but he then tells me he's never wanted to store it, and for me to take it back and forth. I was bothered by this because it's heavy. It makes me feel like he doesn't want to be a team with me, and that he's never going to want to share space. I know it's his house, but in my eyes, it was hurtful, and I can't keep it in the back of a closet where it's out of the way. He says it's his space, and we don't live together yet, so he didn't expect to be housing an animal's cage, and I should, be clear here, it is an animal's cage, and that I should transport it back and forth. He thinks I'm overreacting over a cage, but this is a sore subject for some reason, and it makes me feel like we aren't heading in the direction I hoped we were. Please be kind because I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. Should I let the issue go and not overthink it?
Ooh, yeah, they're kind of sticky.
Okay.
Oh,
I know, we're kind of like...
go for it.
I can run it if you want.
Do it.
Yeah, start it.
Okay, so I think, not to project, but
not to put my life in this one.
I think a lot of men and women, especially if you are at an age where you are not tied down, but you are the age where like the next person you end up with could be the person you're with forever, feel as if women are constantly trying to entrap them in situations that make you like 100% committed to them. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Are you saying that like guys feel that way, or what are you saying?
Yeah, think about how many like movies and TV shows you've seen where a guy gets mad at a girl for like leaving a toothbrush over, implying that she expects she'll be there frequently, or that she's like subtly trying to move in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Right.
So I don't want to, project anything onto these two, but I do feel that the two of them are not at all on the same page when it comes to if they are going to move in with each other, right? And the girl is doing a good job here of being like, oh, I understand that everybody moves at a different pace and that it may take him a little more time before he feels comfortable with me like living in his space permanently. And the guy is doing a decent job of like making it known that no, he moves a little slower and it's going to take him some time to feel comfortable having someone else in his space, right?
Right.
But once you start bringing a rabbit pen into the guy's house, if he has any sort of fear that you are going to try and sneakily move in, it's going to be when you start storing an animal's cage at his house, right?
I think you're right, actually.
This isn't like a one-night stand leaving her toothbrush there, right?
I was going to say.
This is someone putting a cage designed to house another being permanently in your house so that she can bring the animal that lives at her house to your house constantly. So if you're the guy and you've voiced that it takes you longer to be prepared for someone else to move in your space, and this woman is like, I totally understand that. For logistics purposes, I am going to bring a huge fucking cage and ask you to keep it in your house. I can see him being kind of weirded out by it and feeling like the thing that he said was completely ignored. That like she's like secretly trying to just like plant her roots down.
Okay, sure. I can understand where you're coming from there. That makes sense to me. The thing I would sort of refute this with is, yes, like they are going to be leaving a cage at your house, which like sure, there you could perceive that to be like soft moving in. But the reality of the relationship is still present here, which is that she has a pet that she cannot leave alone. She can't. So if you want her to still be coming over...
She can't leave the pet alone for more than 48 hours. The pet can be alone for an entire weekend, she says.
Yeah, but like it's easier just to have the pet there. It's more peace of mind, right? Like to just bring the pet. So bring the pet rabbit. Like the pet rabbit is part of this relationship, whether you like it or not, right? Like
that's a good point.
You are in love with a person, or you are trying to, or I don't know, maybe not in love, but you are with a human being that has a pet rabbit, and that pet rabbit is a staple of their life. It is just something that if you are truly with them, you're going to have to ingratiate that into your life. And a part of that is, hey, it makes it easier if I just leave the cage here. And like, I don't know, I feel like this is a very easy thing to compromise on. The fact that like, I'm not ready to move in, but I do want to help you out as your partner by like keeping the cage here. You know what I mean?
Well, you understand that the difference here isn't the guy's going, I don't care about the rabbit, you have to leave him at home or something.
No, I understand.
It's the difference between the guy saying, yeah, I understand the cage and the rabbit have to come, just bring the cage when you come or not?
What I don't like is when he says it's his closet space and we don't live together yet, so he didn't expect to be housing the cage and that I should transport it back and forth. I feel like it sounds more like excusatory a bit, like not that he should, like he is right technically, you know, technically you're right. Yeah, it is your place. You can do whatever you want. But like if you look at it simplistically, I feel like it's not about, to me at least, it's not about that she's like trying to make you more like susceptible to moving in or whatever, or that's like an indication of moving in. It's just convenience, right? Like, am I crazy? Like, it's just, I know it's annoying, and he does have the right to be like, hey, I don't want that thing in my house. But if she's coming over every weekend, I don't know, I guess it's her rabbit technically, and it is something that she should figure out, and if he's not comfortable with it, it is his place. I don't know. I'm very on and off on this.
Okay, this is just like a classic. They're not on the same page about where they're at.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, in her mind, this is I am bringing this over for convenience. We hang out all the time anyway at your place. It just makes logistical sense to keep this cage at your place, so that way I can bring the rabbit over and it's just easier to come over and spend time with you, right? Like, I can just leave the cage in your closet. It's no big deal. But in his mind, it's like, no. This means something more, you know? It's like, this means that you are starting to take space in my space. That's a big step, right? To him, it's kind of that soft moving in. Yeah. To her, it's not.
I think you're spot on. That is a much better way of elucidating how I felt about this situation. Sure. They disagree with each other about where they are, and the woman thinks that she might be overreacting because she's accidentally hit on what is essentially a sore spot. But then the question is like, well, so what do you do? Do you be like, how do you negotiate this situation?
Let's not lose the sauce, right? The question is she overreacting, right? Like, is she overreacting when she gets kind of like upset, or maybe isn't aligned with him and is like, I'm like trying to bring my bunny over, like we're in a committed relationship together, at least for it's been 8 months, and he's not aligned and he's on a different axis. That's where I'm like trying to hit it.
I'll branch off of what you're saying. From her perspective, this seems like a lack of compromise from the boyfriend's part.
Right?
Yeah,
from her perspective, for sure.
Obviously, it's important to take the boyfriend's perspective into account here, because even though I don't fully agree with where this guy's at, I think it's just really easy to be like, yeah, whatever, bring your cage over. It's not a fucking deal. Like, it's in the back of the closet. Who cares? But clearly this is a big deal for him. So the thing is, I'm not trying to shutter his feelings on this. You know, from this post being the perspective of her saying, am I overreacting? I think what this misalignment is now bringing to a head is that they are misaligned. And now she knows this. This is like a thing that they need to obviously talk about and work through. So, like, is she overreacting for being frustrated that he is putting a hard line no on this? No, I don't think so either. I don't think so. Because this is a very natural thing to be like, well, this kind of sucks. Yeah. Like, now, like, we're fighting about this, basically, right?
And she gives context, right? Like, she is faster than him. And she says it. She says, I want to live with him. And I'm respecting his boundaries. I know he goes slow. I'm doing my best, which is great. And she's doing that, right? She is actively doing that. And so when it comes to this maybe small, tiny little baby step of like not even commitment, just a help in convenience, it's pushed to her that like, nope, my space, go away. I can't fault her for being a little upset. I don't think she's overreacting.
Notably, she's not saying she's a little bit upset. It says, my feelings are hurt, and I have made this a deeper meaning and have started to fear he will never want to move in together or share space. Am I overreacting?
That's true.
Okay. Oh, okay. You pulled me out of the weeds on that one.
The question isn't, am I overreacting and thinking this is a big deal? It's, am I overreacting and thinking he's a piece of shit who will never commit because he won't let me keep a fucking rabbit cage at his house? And you know what? Not to give the guy more credit here, but a rabbit cage is not nothing. You know,
that's true. We don't know the space. Like, we don't know physically how things look, how annoying it could be. Like, it's a big thing.
It's those big like cages that fold out into a big O shape,
right?
And create a space for the animal. right?
Right.
And like, it's a rabbit. It could theoretically not be all the way house trained or something. Like, this cage may fucking stink. It may be like, it may be bulky and gross. Like,
That's
there's an
true.
animal that lives in it.
No, God, I keep getting pulled. The more I think about it, the more like, okay, if I owned a pet, if I owned a rabbit, would I like put this in my significant other's home? And I'm like, I just like, no, I would not. That's just me personally. I'm not even saying that's like the right decision or whatever. Just like personally, I like can't see myself putting that burden in someone else's space, even if it is quote unquote easy. Like, I think there are easy gimmies like the toothbrush, like clothes, like, I don't know, pads or things like that.
To be clear, she later in the post is like, I do store those things at his house.
Right. Which are great indications for her to think that like he is okay with things. But he is like, I don't want to put that big pet thing, this big cage in my house. I would appreciate it if you, respected my space enough that you brought that every time you came over. I know it's a bit of a hassle, and like that's where they need to talk. Fuck, that's where I'm at. God dang it. Yeah,
Okay, well, hold on a second, though. I'm going to lasso you back around, because if her fear is that, I'm worried that we aren't heading in the right direction, right? This is the feeling that I'm getting from this. This rabbit is an important part of her life. It is her pet, right? So if already this guy is unwilling to compromise on making it easier to transfer the pet back and forth, then from her perspective, it kind of seems like, well, if he's not willing to work with me on this, like, I have this rabbit. Is he ever going to be willing to work with me on it? Like, I don't know. This is my pet. This is an animal I've had for a while, and I want it to be a part of my life, and it's a part of me. Like, I can't just not have this rabbit. If you're not willing to compromise with me on helping me, like, store this cage, then is this just going to be a thing forever? Like, I can't really fault her for being worried about that, at least a little bit, from this argument that they have.
Yeah. Hate you.
I know.
So annoying.
This is a tough one.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
You know what? Actually, I feel like I've landed on my decision. I don't know about you guys, but I think I can. I
get where you're. I think I know where you're at.
Yeah,
I don't know where I'm at. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, me neither. All right, you ready to vote?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I guess so.
Yep.
Decision time.
All right, we'll do it in the classic style. When it comes to the woman who just wants to put something in her boyfriend's house, is
no big deal.
Just a tiny little.
Is this thing where she is told no and then starts spiraling? Is it an overreaction, Jordan?
So overreacting is something that I always don't love, because I think a lot of thoughts are valid to have, and it's how you act on those thoughts that I feel is the overreaction. Right? I'm getting a little semantic-y here, but being worried about, maybe this is something that is not necessarily a red flag, but like a hurdle, that like your first hurdle. At the start of the post, says we got into a fight, which we hardly ever do, right? So this is your first challenge in a relationship. And to have this reaction of, we've gotten a fight over this. We never fight before. He doesn't want to store this cage in his house. This is about my rabbit, who's very important to me. It seems like he's not ready to move on this, which means maybe is he never going to want to accept this rabbit as a part of his house, like a permanent stay? Like, I can understand those sort of thought spirals. And for me, this is a situation where you would want to spawn this into like a conversation about how you can compromise from here. Now, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how you compromise not storing it in the house, but that's something you can discuss. So I don't think she's overreacting for realizing that this is a situation that's going to require greater discussion between the two of them.
Okay. I think that was a pretty generous reading of it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I unfortunately, I'm gonna land on the other side. I do think this is a bit of an overreaction. I think that I'm a misogynist. I think getting into a position where you already are storing, she says, clothes and like a toothbrush at this guy's house. He wants to move slower than you do when it comes to moving in. And he draws a line at the big, stinking, enormous cage. Yeah, I think using that as a jumping off point for, I think this guy's never going to commit, is a bit of an overreaction. And obviously the solution here is the same solution as it is always, is talk to your partner. But at present, no, I don't think you need to be going down this long spiral of like, will he ever, put up, based on him not wanting to house the enormous cage in his house. I think that is a little bit of an overreaction, which leaves the boy in charge of the outcome. Daniel?
Okay. Yeah, I think this is hard. I am not like super, committed to my answer, that in the sense of like, I think it's 100% this and it could be any other way. But I'm very like right on the rope of this. I think there's arguments really positive on both sides, but I think I'm really trying here. I think that I trust my gut.
Oh my God.
Just like keep you in silence for too long. I think she is overreacting just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just like just a tiny smidge. Like, because I completely. Okay, let me explain. I think there is validity in saying you're normal for thinking this, right? I think that but all of us can agree it is absolutely normal to think of this, right? Normal is the key word. It is absolutely normal because of the way you feel, the circumstances, and the conversations, and what will make you comfortable. And he's not on the same page. But I don't think it is like, as it's okay, like to kind of relax your emotions on this because it is normal, which means I do think you are catastrophizing, is I guess I'll use the word, a little bit on your first hurdle. And it's okay, right? Like the fact that he's already accepting of so many things at his house already, clothes, toothbrushes, etc., and maybe took a bit of a hardline stance on the cage is okay. You're gonna be okay because this is normal. I don't worry. You are overreacting, but that's normal. That's good. That's a good thing. You should be listening to your feelings and talking to your partner about it. I guess that's like the slightest edge towards yes, but here's why. And I know that like the instinct to be like, no, he's overreacting. I think that, technically they both could be overreacting, right? Like, I think they both, I think he is overreacting a bit too. He is, the hard line stance. No, this is my space, whatever. It's like, okay, chill. Maybe I don't know how big this cage is. Yeah, it's his man cave. All right, chill bit, buddy, relax. Like, she's already got all your stuff there. Like, let's be real. If she's gonna bring the bunny every time, like, what's the point? Like, but who knows? Right. Who knows? I don't know the context, and so that's why I'll say, like, I think there is validity in valuing someone's space and trusting your partner that this doesn't mean he doesn't want to move in with you. Like, it's okay. Everything will be all right. I know it's normal, and you're gonna be all right. Oh, God, that was hard.
I will say I do love that she. Oh, I was just storing something at his house. 24 square foot rabbit cage.
I also got word in her replies, now that we've done voting, is that they talked about it. It was a mental thing for him. It was not really like a space thing. And he was like, I can probably store it under my bed. And that's what they're doing now. So the good end.
Thank God.
So they are storing it. They are storing it at his house. Which means I'm right. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway.
No, the question wasn't should he store it at the house. It was, am I overreacting? And they talked about it and resolved it instantly, which means that I'm right.
True. Next post. No,
I have a different opinion.
Yeah, of course you do. Right. That's why you're on the fucking show.
The council has spoken.
All right, that last one. Was a little tough. It was a little in the weeds. This one I think might be just very, very slightly easier.
Oh, good.
Okay. This comes from AITA Relationships, which, oh my God, what? Oh, I'm subscribing to this one immediately.
Oh, yeah.
AITA
Oh, my
Relationship.
God. AITA.
A new untapped well
Wait, they
of
mixed
gold.
exactly what you want always, which is just Am I the Asshole r/relationships version.
It's like when Captain America comes out of the portal in Avengers Endgame. And it's exactly like that because this is happening on Reddit. Okay. So this one comes from username CrazyShoddy22, which first off, great, amazing.
All right, here we go. The mouth.
Am I the asshole for not doing my soon-to-be ex-husband's laundry.
No.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's
What
just-
the heck?
Yeah. wait, you're so right. I didn't think about it that way. Yes.
All right, okay. A little context. I asked my husband for a divorce some months back. What the fuck? I was sick of feeling like a single mom.
Wait.
There's never been any improvement.
She
His
listened to
hobbies were
Reddit?
most important. Yeah. And other than him cutting the grass half the time, I did everything. Cooking, cleaning, laundry, dishes, dog walks, watching his son all day. I work from home, grocery shopping, etc. By the way, reading this statement, I was so happy to see a couple of these that I do, so I would allow Jillian to listen to this episode of the pod.
Yeah.
I was under the impression we could go through it with a dissolution process until he served me with papers via process servicer in the driveway a couple of weeks ago and unloaded his hatred for me. I found out he has been having me followed, cameras all over inside and outside the home, plays games about paying his half of the bills, change the locks on the garage so I can't access anything in there, etc. I was, up to this point, still making him meals, picking up after him, doing his laundry, everything is normal. Yesterday, we ran out of detergent and I decided I'm done doing everything for him. I went and grabbed more to do my son's and my laundry last night. Our money is now separate. Then I washed my son's bedding today. To which, for the first time ever, my ex stripped the sheets off the bed that I have never been allowed to sleep in for months to wash them. Then he asked me to put the detergent in and start the washer. I explained to him I don't feel it's appropriate to do it for him and that he was going to have to do the laundry himself and get the detergent. He then called me an asshole and called his dad pissed about it. Am I the asshole here? Because now I do feel guilty about it.
Yeah. Yes. Feel more guilty.
Yeah.
Duh.
What's your problem?
Serve
What the
your man
fuck?
more.
Even though he's not your man. Yeah, be subservient to your husband. How dare
All right,
you?
cool. Next post, guys.
This one's so good, dude.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, how we're going through a divorce. I'm locking you out of the garage. You've done all the chores through the house all the time anyway. I'm making your life living hell. How dare you not still do my laundry? Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Has this man ever had the shit beat out of him?
It is crazy that this guy, first off, fumbled so hard. Second,
Like,
she is still doing everything. How, like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Everything, which is like making his meals, like cooking for you. I don't know if I split up or whatever. I guess I'm different from all these Redditors. But I don't know. I wouldn't expect, like, you're no longer a unit together anymore. You're two different people. Like, it's over, man. Like,
yeah.
right? Like, am I crazy?
Why would you even still? No, not at all. Why would you even still have that expectation at all? The minute you have a conversation around separating, the minute you both decide that you're separated, or there has been a decision made about you separating, like, it's done.
I love that he called his
He doesn't
dad.
do your laundry anymore. Yeah, oh my God,
I love that he
know,
called
dude.
him. It's like, you're an asshole.
Dad, she's like, ugh, just being
Dad.
really mean to me.
Like, what? I feel bad for this woman's state because clearly she's got a lot, like, that she has to deal with because she felt guilty about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm not saying crazy.
I'm
as in,
gonna
like, she
cut her
shouldn't
some.
feel-
No, I know.
I'm gonna cut
I
her
just-
some
I
slack
just feel
on this.
bad.
She's with this guy forever,
I know.
and clearly she knows that he's a big pathetic loser who can't do anything for himself. So, it's like you just told like a 4 or 5 year old to go buy detergent, and they're like, "But I don't have any money. I don't know how that
Yeah.
works."
Yeah.
You might as well have told him to fucking fly a rocket to the moon. I imagine
Yeah.
that.
But, like, remember, this guy has been doing, like, game tricks on her, like locking doors and spying on her and following her.
That's great. I honestly, I that shit left my mind because it was so absolutely unbelievable.
It's insane.
I love when people are like suspicious of their partner, so they turn their fucking house into an escape room. It's like the funniest thing ever. It's like, my wife has been unsatisfied recently. These 7 clues ought to help me.
Reflect
What
the
was
light
this?
on the pyramid's head to open the garage.
Honey,
What was the 12th president's favorite food?
why is a replica of Steve from Blue's Clues thinking chair in our driveway? Oh, that's mine? I need that. Oh my god.
Oh, no, this is ridiculous. I don't know. The hard part is like, how do you remain cordial through an obviously messy breakup or divorce, right? I mean, you have to be mature and an adult about it, even though like your life has turned upside down.
You know what's unfortunate is like the guy is such a very particular kind of guy. Because like basically what I'm hearing is like she feels like the relationship isn't reciprocal and that she's doing a lot of work that he isn't, especially in raising the kid. She voices this and is like, I would like a divorce. I feel like you're not contributing enough. But like, that's not a good enough reason to get divorced for him. So he's like, he has to have a big emotional blow up about how like they secretly hate each other. And it's like, dude, like, you don't have to do this. This was going to be a cordial thing. You know, the kid was going to get out of here without having to see his dad break down in the parking lot. You know, why do you have to make this a big ordeal?
It's so funny because like she asked for a divorce. And then lists off all the things that he doesn't do. And then they are divorced. And then he's mad that she is no longer doing them for him. Like, can you see the writing on the wall here, man? You're like literally proving her point.
It's crazy. She writes about this in more of her replies in the post, how she calls him he's more of a Disneyland dad. And I'm like, wow, what a fantastic description of like many people, because like, let's just say I have some experience.
They want to take their kid on fun trips and vacations, but it's like, no, being a part of a family is a lot of really boring menial shit.
Yeah. And like, it's like they want to do just the fun family stuff, be the fun dad and do like, I'm gonna take the kid to this, that, the other. And then when it comes to like the nitty gritty of like, hey, you should probably shower, kid. And then the kid's like, no. And then you're like, all right, like this is where the family raising starts. So God, that phrase is so good. And I feel for her.
Yeah. I've never heard that phrase before, but there are a lot of dudes that I would describe as that.
Like, I'm like, wow, that's so real.
That's so real. Yeah. I love doing laundry. I love it. It's great. I get to throw in my AirPods. I love it. I love washing it, folding it, the works. It's great.
Joseph, what's your favorite chore?
Cooking. Not close.
Cooking. I do love cooking, dude.
Okay, cooking is obvious. All right.
Okay. Like, cooking aside.
Cooking aside.
I'm looking at the stuff in here. I love grocery shopping.
Okay. That's it. That's a good one.
Huge grocery shopper.
I like grocery shopping too. It's fun.
It is fun.
I think one of my favorites is taking out the trash. That's like my fave. I love
my god. When we lived together, that's like one of my least favorite chores in the universe.
I was so confused until like month 6. I was like, why don't we ever like switch this up? I was like, oh, he hates this. I love it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I fucking hate taking out the trash.
I love the trash. I love taking out the trash and putting a new trash bin in and everything. It's great.
No, I'm laundry
least
filled.
favorite.
I love laundry.
Jordan.
God, I love it. Jordan,
least favorite.
Least favorite? Cleaning the bathroom.
Oh.
I hate cleaning the bathroom.
Joseph?
Of the ones in here, it's got to be laundry.
Wow. Complete opposite.
Yeah, I'm not a laundry guy.
This one's a weird one, but dishes is tough for me. I can do it.
You gotta get a dishwasher.
I do have a dishwasher, so it's fine. It's just like,
wait, then what's your fucking problem?
No, nothing. Yeah. It's nothing. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a mental block. It's really not hard when I'm doing it. I'm like, yeah, this is fine. But it's just my brain is like, oh, I don't want to.
I didn't have a dishwasher growing up. And I will say, sans dishwasher, it's dishes all the way. But I didn't have a dishwasher growing up, and so I did them all by hand. And then the first couple places we lived, I did them by hand as well. And then the first time I lived somewhere with a dishwasher, I was like, this changes everything. But now we have a dishwasher that's kind of old and occasionally will break down and like needs to be like parts replaced or needs to be serviced. Yep. And while it's being serviced, I'm like, I have to kill myself. There's no other option. This is this is the worst thing that I've ever done in my life.
Like, I think that's why I think it's associated, because when I'm doing it, upkeep is really easy. I live by myself. So like, it's not even a chore. Like I can't even call it a chore because it's so easy. I have like 4 or 5 dishes I use, right? And it's like, what, one load is, boom, done, easy. But I know it gets harder the more people are in it.
It gets so much harder because especially I love my wife, but she loves to bake. She loves to bake.
I love my wife.
Oh my God. Baking dishes? Fuck me.
My God.
It's like you got the biggest fucking pots and bowls and muffin tins. It's like, man, where does this go in the fucking dishwasher? Like, I gotta hand wash this thing. I gotta find a place to set it so it dries.
Yep. The thing is that the stuff in it will not come out after one dishwash.
Oh my God.
It's just not going to get it all.
Yup. So you end up doing some of them anyway.
That's fine. I do some of them.
I know.
I will say though, that's how I feel about laundry. When Jillian does our laundry, and I do feel bad that she does it, but also then she'll fold it, and I'll look at it, and I'm like, it will be 95% her laundry. Like she'll go through like 3 or 4 outfits a day, and I'm like, I will wear a shirt for a week. You know, so she's like, wow, this week all I had to wash from you was 5 pairs of underwear. And I'll be like wearing Monday's shirt. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
I love doing the laundry because then I get to look at my wife's bras and get to think about her
so
boobs.
annoying. Let's go to the next
I'm
post
like,
before
damn.
You're
before Jordan passes
insanely
out.
annoying. All right.
The council has spoken.
This last one comes from Best of Redditor Updates. This is a post about me.
Let's go.
I, 28F, found my husband, 29M, has been telling his coworkers that I'm his sister. What do I do? Please help.
Wait, it's literally you. It's literally
it is you.
For those of you who maybe don't watch Joseph on his other content platforms, this is a joke he has made for so long.
Like literally since I've known him, like years.
Literally
I
years.
mean, it's not a joke. Like, were you guys online this week when they were doing like incest discourse?
Unfortunately, yes.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, I wanted to chime in
No.
just because, you know, as someone who is married to their sister, it's actually been pretty rewarding for me, but
Yeah, you are from the South, right?
I'm not from that part of the South, you know, come on.
Okay.
Shut up and read the post.
So you just
What would you consider the incestuous part of the South? Like
any
Alabama?
part of it.
Yeah.
You Yankees, Jesus. Oh, she ran
Yeah.
upstairs to flip me off. She's flipping me off right now. Is that any way to treat your brother?
I'm so angry. When I go to listen to my favorite podcast this weekend, it's going to include this terrible bit that's going to make me mad.
I'm crying.
I love you.
I love you too, my husband.
Yeah, we are husband and wife.
Oh,
And many people find that
It's just, this is you, though.
Please read.
Let's read the post. Throwaway account because I don't use or understand Reddit, but I really need advice from someone not connected to me or my husband. My husband, I'll call him Joseph, I'll call him Josh, and I have been together for 6 years, married for 4, and we don't have kids. We have a healthy and communicative relationship. We're both easygoing, and I really love him. He started working at a large accounting firm 3 years ago, and from what he tells me, he loves it there. He's made a lot of friends through his job, and he goes out with them for drinks and social events quite often. I've been totally okay with that. I'm introverted, so I've never been interested in meeting his colleagues or work friends, nor have I asked to. I've got my own circle of friends, and I'm fine with us having separate groups. After what happened yesterday, it only just occurred to me that he's never actually asked me if I'd like to meet any of them or go to any of his events. I guess that's important context. Anyway, I'll start with what happened a few months ago that I had brushed off until now. I was at a bar with some friends for a couple of Friday after-work drinks, and a guy approached me. He was there with some friends, too. He looked slightly familiar, but I hadn't met him before. He seemed friendly enough, and he asked me, my name, right? I think I must have just given him a confused look because he followed up with, I'm Jake, I work with Josh. I realized that I had recognized him from photos on my husband's phone. I don't use social media except for a private Instagram, so I'm not sure if he posted photos anywhere, but we've got a trusting relationship, so I do look into his photos sometimes, don't hate me. This is where it gets embarrassing. I'm a little bit socially awkward, so I struggled to end the conversation, but he kept talking at me. He was a couple of beers deep. While he was talking, he said something like, it's great you guys are so close. I haven't talked to my brother in ages. At the time, I was like, huh? But I assumed he was drunk and not making sense, so I ignored it. He started to get a little flirty, so I turned to my friends and we left shortly after that. I didn't say anything to them about it, and it didn't seem like a big deal. I also decided not to tell my husband I had met Jake, not to hide it, because I figured the guy wouldn't even remember talking to me. I just didn't want to make it awkward for Josh at work by telling him his colleague tried to hit on me. Just no harm, no foul. Yesterday morning, I was out walking our dog Monty. He's a cross between a few breeds and has unique markings. This matters, I promise. And was on my way to my regular cafe, which is in town. I was waiting in line to order, and the guy at the front was an older man. He got his coffee and turned around, but stopped and looked at the dog and goes, hello, Monty. Monty was excited to see him, and I guess the guy was another colleague of Josh's because Josh brings the dog to the office a couple of times a week. I thought it was sweet, to be honest, so I smiled at him. I said hi. He introduced himself, and then he said something like, aren't you a good sister? Walking his dog for him. I was so confused I didn't know how to react. So I stumbled on my words and said, oh, it's my dog. I regret it, but I genuinely couldn't bring myself to correct him and say that I'm his wife. It was just too strange, and I wanted to leave because it was suddenly dawning on me what was going on. He asked me something about sharing a dog, but I escaped the conversation by being next in line to order my coffee and left. I don't know what to do, because what the fuck? Do I even ask my husband about this? Part of me is just assuming or hoping it's a mistake, that he doesn't talk about me at work and we assume we're related because we have brown hair. But the thought that he has been telling his coworkers I'm his sister and evidently they have seen what I look like makes my stomach churn. I don't even know how I would broach the subject with him. I need some help. What would you guys do in this situation? I've only told one friend what happened because it's so weird and embarrassing, and she jumped straight to time to plot his downfall. But I don't want to immediately assume the worst or ruin my marriage over something that could be nothing. I'm sorry for the long and rambly post, but I would really appreciate any and all advice.
Okay, so this is a best of Redditor updates. So is there more, or should we just stick it there?
There is an update at the end that I think we will conclude with. But first I have to say, so I had thought maybe it's just the way my mind works. I thought the guy was doing a funny bit. I was like, oh yeah, that's my sister, you know, ha ha ha. But if you are telling everyone at your work that your wife is your sister in these photos, it's because you're trying to fuck someone at work, right?
That's what I hate to be like that, but like definitely, right? Like
it's gotta be that.
It's gotta be
right?
like, oh, that's my sister, whatever. And then like you talk, and then like, or like even why does Josh like what the guy?
No, this is the nah. This is too grimy. Like, doesn't sit right with me. I'm trying to like be the guy that respects the bit, but like this isn't a bit.
There's
Joseph,
no bit. Like unless
there's no bit.
Wait, what if it's like a long con bit? like super long con.
Yeah, it's a long con bit to fuck a coworker.
True. I don't. The vibes are weird. I mean,
the vibes are rancid.
I'm glad that maybe, I guess what I'll try to do to counter the post is that these were two weird instances that definitely have properly, and she's right, to feel weird about, but maybe it's not that bad, and maybe he's not doing that, and these people just are assuming, and they're like, they didn't actually ask him, or they're just like talking at her. They're like, oh, sister, whatever. Like that was her sister, his sister. I don't know. Like that's the best I can maybe give this, that it's just a misunderstanding. Maybe.
No.
Do you think this is like the guy who had to pretend that he was the wrong star sign?
Yeah. It's like, that's my sister.
Maybe he's in like a sales job. They want like a single.
Oh my god, that's such a good guess.
Kind of guy.
What if like the first time he met with his supervisor, he was like, "What's that on your lock screen?" And he's like, "Oh," and they're like, "Oh my god, it's so nice you're so close with your sister." You know, that's the type of mentality that gets you promoted here. He's like, "Shit." Yeah.
In a completely different subreddit right now is the guy posting
help me out here
r/like rant, and he's like, so
I mean, can I tell them I married my sister? Is it that big of a deal? Like that would kind of solve all my problems,
I'm
right?
so glad she's an introvert. She never comes to work events. It's working right now, but I fear.
Yeah, he's like, okay, so here's the deal. They think that she's my sister, and it's been fantastic for my job, but she is my wife. There's no way for me to transition from sister to wife unless I tell them the sister was adopted and that we have found each other.
That's awesome.
We need to know what state you're in. What state are you in?
Yeah, it depends a lot. No, I think this is definitely strange. She is definitely absolutely right to be freaked out, right? Like I think we can all agree
freaky
to
as
be
shit.
absolutely freaked out when the second person goes, "You're his sister," and you go, what the ever living hell am I in? Like, is this a prank? Like, is Ashton Kutcher gonna come out of the plants and be like, "Gotcha, haha"? Do you like the sister bit?
Gotcha, bitch.
You like the sister bit?
I don't know. All right, do you want me to read the update?
Let's continue.
Yes,
I have to know. I have to know.
On pins and needles, I have to know.
Okay. So she does a bunch of edits about like the intricacies of this. You don't need to know about them. They're not important. Okay. Here's the update. Hey, everybody. I wanted to say thank you for the overwhelming amount of support and advice. I've been blown away, and it means a lot and has kept me grounded. I'm sorry for the slow update. I know a lot of you are interested in what happened. I tried to update on Saturday, but it turns out the subreddit doesn't allow me to post an update until 48 hours after the first post, and I'm only allowed to post a single update, so I'm going to fit as much as I can here. Sorry for how long it might end up getting. I'll get right into it. On Saturday morning, I woke up earlier than my husband. He was hungover, so he was sleeping like a rock, but you guys will be proud of me. I followed some advice, and I looked through his phone properly while he was sleeping. Usually I'm on his phone just pissing around. I never thought to check anything deep. I checked all the expected things, Instagram DMs, Facebook Messenger, iMessages, didn't find anything that set off alarm bells to me, but I know from some comments that people who are cheating are good at covering their tracks and hiding messages, so I kept looking around. I saw he had a folder called Work. I looked in there, it had a couple of Microsoft apps, but he also had Teams. So I opened it up, I had a look around, I did feel like I might have been breaking laws, but I had to. Anyway, I was upset that he had a bunch of one-on-one chats with several female coworkers, which at first glance is not an issue because everyone works with people with the opposite gender and required to communicate with them. But a couple of them were vaguely flirty, nothing I would call egregious, but there would be like messages with playful innuendos or like a little wink emoji. These were upsetting and maybe sent me into a bit of a spiral, but I didn't find anything that suggested he was having an out-and-out affair with any of them. Still, I followed someone's suggestion of screenshotting the messages and I airdropped them all to myself. I wanted some evidence of the lie, though, some proof of Josh telling someone I was his sister directly. A commenter suggested I go through his messages and search for the keyword sister, but I searched for sis on MS Teams, hoping to find results for both. A bunch from all hands group chats or one-on-one chats came up from other people unrelated about their own sisters. But then I saw there was a direct message from Jake, the guy at the bar, to Josh from Monday a few months ago. Jake said, ran into your sis at the bar on Friday. She's single, right? And my husband replied, no, she's married.
What?
I literally almost burst into flames on the spot when I saw that. I can't describe how much I was shaking after reading those messages. Firstly, I could have confronted Josh about this months ago. I was and still am furious at myself for that. He would have been fucking praying that I didn't remember meeting Jake or wouldn't mention it, and he would have been counting his lucky stars I never did. He probably thought he was hot shit for getting away with it, and I nearly burnt a hole through the floor thinking about it. But secondly, I was in shock that he had the balls to tell this guy, I'm married.
It's so funny.
Anyway, I kept going back through the search results on his Teams, and I got as far back as 2 years ago. Did, in fact, find a message from Josh himself to a group chat that said, me and sis in Nusa Dua. I clicked on that and saw that he had sent it alongside photos of him and I from our holiday to Bali. We went there for our second anniversary. I thought he chose those photos because he's shirtless and had been working out, so he looked good. I was in tears seeing all of this. I took screenshots and airdropped them to myself. I was devastated and still am. I'm struggling to process it. That was Saturday. I took myself to my friend's house. I'll call her Sophie. I wanted a place to cry at and show her what I found. She was supportive and more furious than me. At 1:30, I got a phone call from Josh. He sent a few messages along the lines of, where are you, baby? I'm ordering food and sad to not wake up next to you this morning. Guys, I have to reiterate how much I love this man and how heart-wrenching it was to see him acting like nothing had gone wrong. It took a lot of willpower to just pretend none of it had happened and go home to him. I know many of you will yell at me or accuse me of being terrified of confronting him, which is not true. Please have some empathy. Sunday morning, I woke up feeling more angry than sad, so I opened my phone and replied to the messages, come now home, we need to talk. Kept it cryptic to make him squirm, to be honest. Because I'm fraught with emotions, I can't remember the entire conversation, but I'll try to replay it as best I can. Long story short, I got home, he tried to hug me, I refused, we stood in the kitchen, I did confront him and said, why have you been telling your coworkers that I'm your sister? I wish it would have been like a movie scene where the color drained from his face, or he immediately looked like a deer in the headlights, but he didn't. It was like he had been girding himself for this confrontation for a while, because he frowned and looked at me kind of flabbergasted. He said, huh? This made me angry. I said, don't play dumb. 2 of your coworkers have greeted me as your sister. I have proof of you telling them. I know you're pretending to be single. He played dumb. He got a little defensive and said, I don't know what you're talking about, or why would I lie about you? I showed him the screenshot of his message saying me and sis, and I said something like, you tell me. He said, I don't know what I'm looking at, and I'm confused.
Wow.
Genius level intellect. I got so angry I left again. I went back to Sophie's because it felt like a dead-end road. I didn't think I was going to get him to admit anything, and I was so furious I couldn't continue. He was upset and in tears, which to me was evidence that he knew he was lying. He was going to have to come up with some explanation. He tried to get me to stay, but I told him, until you have something to say for yourself, we've got nothing to talk about. At 8:30, he did call me again, and I did pick up. He asked for us to talk, and he said he has some things to say, so I went back. He had written out a bunch of stuff on a piece of paper as if he had prepared a speech, and he sat me down on the couch. He asked me not to say anything while explaining himself. Here's the gist. He apologized for admitting that he pretended to be stupid, but it was because he couldn't think of something to say. He said that after he started his job, I can't believe this, he realized the atmosphere was like a frat house. All his team members were men in their 20s and 30s that were single and fuck boys. He noticed the one guy in their team that was married would get picked on or excluded from social interactions, like lunch or inside jokes or going out. These guys were friendly and welcoming to Josh, and he admitted he was desperate to fit in. He hated feeling like fresh meat. So he was scared that saying he would married would alienate him from his coworkers, so he just didn't mention it. All he did was wear his wedding ring, and they just didn't point it out. A few months in, they were all out drinking after work. He admitted a workmate saw a picture of me on his lock screen. They asked him who he was, and in a moment of panic, he said, "My sister."
Oh,
He was really apologetic and crying a lot. He couldn't even look at me. So
we nailed
I
it.
didn't read ahead.
No, I didn't either. This is amazing.
anyway,
Continue.
he said from then he dug himself a deeper and deeper hole because they kept grilling him about me and wanting to see more pictures. He had let it go on for too long, and he didn't have the balls to admit the lie. They would bring me up and ask shit like, "Did you give her my number?" or joke that they had slept with me. So when he got the message from Jake, he thought it was just him taking the piss. But he didn't like the jokes they were making and said I was married in hopes they would stop. They didn't. He said that those pictures were the only pictures that he had purposefully sent them and deliberately lied about after what he called an endless barrage of pestering. He concluded his speech by apologizing again and said he was disgusted with himself and ashamed that he had lied for so long. He had never had an affair or even considered it. The messages between him and his female colleagues were banter, and it was commonplace to talk like that in the office. He knows how disgusting it is, and he is embarrassed to have been acting like a fuckboy. He feels like he's trapped himself, and he couldn't find a way to get himself out of it. He said he knows he could have confessed the truth either to his coworkers at me at any point, but he didn't because he's a coward. He said that he'll confess to the office that he lied and that I'm his wife and not his sister if I want him to. He says that he'll quit his job without a word if it would make me feel better and hopes I can forgive him, but understands if I can't. Anyway.
Wow.
I packed up a bag and went to Sophie's. I'm at her place as I'm writing this. She said I can stay as long as I need to. I told Josh I needed time away to think about everything, whether or not I will believe him, whether or not I will trust him again. He told me take as long as I need. He will be there for me when I get back, even if it takes a year. Right now, nothing feels real. I'm dealing with the emotional whiplash from all of this. I can't keep food down or think about anything. I've taken the day off work, and Josh told me that he's going to take the whole week off. Sophie and my other friends have told me not to make a decision until my head is clear. I spoke to my parents this morning, and my mom says it's a bump in the road, but she and my dad adore Josh, so they're pretty biased. That's where I am right now. I can't say whether I'm leaning towards forgiveness or divorce, but I feel those are the only options. This will be my last update unless I make an edit to clear things up. All the best.
Oh,
My
God.
I can't believe dude, I made a joke.
we were riffing.
we were
like,
riffing,
what
dude.
if scenario that happens?
Wow.
Oh my God.
Okay. Taking this story at face value and assuming it's real, do you believe the guy?
What, that he did this all on purpose and that like it was all
Yes, he did. He
got trapped?
did it, dug himself a whole little lie and got trapped in the lie. Do you believe that?
You know, maybe I am a fucking easy to trick, naive little weak-minded fool.
I
believe him.
100%
I
believe
100%
it.
believe him.
Because she goes through all of his shit,
Yes.
finds nothing that indicates
Exactly.
cheating,
Yes.
and finds scant references to her as his sister. Only the one picture
Yup.
has the sentence "me and
He's
sis."
like
Nothing
refusing
else
to
does.
talk about it. He doesn't say it.
Yeah.
He keeps the ring on. He's also just like and they just never ever brings it up and like is like trying to be flirty only because people think he's single. He's like, oh yeah, like fuck, that's my coworker. I have to like not say anything. Ugh, and like I'm stuck in here. Yeah, I believe him.
I believe him. I think he's a spineless little coward that got caught in a lie and couldn't admit.
That's the thing, though, is where do you land on this? So for sure, I don't think he was cheating. I don't think he's like trying to gaslight her or whatever. But he is a loser.
Yes. I think like,
Yeah.
man, I can't believe the reasoning as to the like, I know work sucks. I know you're trying to fit in or whatever, but like, this is insane that you were
Yeah,
like
this is
afraid of
way
being
too far.
picked on. You can pick. I'm sorry. I don't know. Like if I had a wife, you could pick on me all day. I would be like, I do not give a flying fuck. That's my wife.
Correct.
So,
Yup.
okay, I will be completely honest. I think he is correct in saying, and a bunch of the comments echo this as well, a lot of finance places are kind of like frat houses.
Yeah,
and
That sucks.
yeah,
It
and
sucks.
definitely it can and will hurt your career prospects if you don't like fit in with the clique, right?
Yep.
For sure.
But like then you can't work there.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Like,
sorry. Like, that's just find a new
100%.
place. I'm so sorry. This
like,
is not high school.
I understand that this is rough and like you will not fit in and it will hurt your career prospects at this company if you don't conform to this. And like, maybe that requires you to stretch the truth about like if you're fucking married to your sister or not. But if you have to compromise on this in order to keep your job, leave. Like,
no, yeah, you don't compromise on your marriage.
I can't believe the guy with
that.
the fucking horoscope was like, I'm considering quitting so I don't have to deal with this. And this guy's like, listen, I'll leave if you want me to. I mean, I would like to just keep up the ruse forever.
Like, that's
this is unacceptable.
I mean, like, the only thing that's maybe appreciative is that he's like willing to do anything for her, which is quit the job.
Yeah.
It's like, buddy, you should have quit that job 3 years ago. But like, I guess I'm glad you're quitting. Like, I don't know if she does end up forgiving him, which like I get, like, whatever. It doesn't seem like he's being like mean to her or anything. But obviously this sucks. But like, I guess he's like offering, you know, to quit, which is like step number 1, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like I could not even fathom a world where like this guy stays there and then confesses and is like, I lied. Like, like, I don't know. How do you even keep track of that? It feels weird. It's just also,
I can't believe, like, I don't know, man. Like, if other guys in your work are talking about how hot this woman is, like, look, sorry to be, this might be a little misogynistic of me. Okay, I'm sorry. But like, if some people like, damn, she's hot, I'd be like, yeah, that's my wife. And then they'd be like, damn. And I'd be like, yeah. Like, come on.
Then they're not going to invite you out to their
Man,
shindigs.
fuck 'em. I get to go home and fuck my hot
that's where his
wife.
fear comes in, right? That's where this guy's a coward. Because I feel like even in those cliques, you get respected way more if you are just confident, right? Like, if you are just like,
There's a guy in the clique that is being treated like shit because he's married.
I don't care.
I'm not saying that this guy doesn't suck. He sucks. I think his fears are pretty rational, but I think the solution is like, well, don't work at a place with that type of culture. Not, well, you should construct a 4-year-long lie about how your wife is your sister.
Yeah, for sure.
I just hate that he desperately wanted to fit in, right? Like, I think that's where the disconnect comes in from.
I'm feeling like the guy with the yellow leg right now. Literally looking around, make sure I don't fit in.
Like, literally. It's like, dude, just, I don't know.
My God.
I don't know. I think that, like, we're not getting enough context out of this guy. Oh, okay, let's actually talk about the first thing he did to her, which was just lie. Like, he just, as soon as she confronted him, was just acted like the dumbest man ever. And
I did like that she was like, I don't understand. I thought he would like deer in the headlights, like freeze up, but he was like super calm and collected and just like, what's going on? You know? And I was like, you dumb motherfucker. He has prepared for this conversation for 3 years.
Yes.
He knew at some point the Piper would come home, you know?
This scene has played out in his head like 9 billion times.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he takes a shower, he is finding up new ways to have this conversation.
It's like, okay.
He is practicing this shit like a fucking Broadway play script. Like,
Maybe
come
there's
on.
a version where I get my actual sister in on it and she pretends to be my wife. And then one day, and then we just swap roles. One day my wife comes in and I'm like, oh, hi, honey. And they're like, I thought that was your sister. And it's like, no, you remember I have the sister and the wife and I just hope they don't notice. Like maybe.
And then this would lead to his actual plan of finally being able to fuck his real sister.
Oh my God.
And then
this whole situation is like men, their number one favorite thing to do, and I say this as a man, is to get in too deep. That's like our number one favorite thing to do is just a little bit too depe and be like, fuck. Now what?
I just, I think the desperation to fit in, you know, rubbing my yellow leg, is so apparent, and especially like sad to see, because like I think some of the comments in the post relate to it. Like, listen, I get it, the finance place is like cliquey, but having that like backbone is like infinitely, you know, like stronger.
It is true that it'll hurt his prospects or whatever, but like from a human perspective, how could you be attracted to someone who is that much of a fucking pushover?
Yes.
It's a
Oh
fucking
my
baby.
God.
Like honestly, what you found out here as the poster, as the woman in this
I would
situation,
get the
you found out that your husband is a little bitch. That's what you
I would
found
get
out.
the ick. That in order to fit in at work, he will just sell you out because you're
Yeah.
not there, you know? And then he'll sell his coworkers out when you're there. He'll just sell out whoever's not in the room in order to, you know, in order to do nothing, in order just to, I don't know, make
spineless
people
ball
like
of
him a little
goo.
more. Annoying. Very annoying.
Man, like they're hitting on your wife, dude. I
That's
would be
the funniest.
so
They're like,
mad.
they're like, boy, this bitch is hot as hell, huh? And he's like, haha, I guess so.
Oh my God.
Oh man, like I just can't stop thinking about how like there's multiple people who are like his sister's hot as fuck and he's not like mad at them. Oh my God.
No kidding. I just can't believe
I would go ape mode.
You all know I hate this shit. I would never say this shit. But this is beta male shit 1,000,000%. I never say that shit, but I have to.
The thing about the alpha beta thing is like, it's of course completely fake. It's this totally invented manosphere bullshit.
Yes.
But sometimes you meet a guy that is just like so spineless, you're like, well, maybe.
Yeah,
right?
if there is an example, it's you.
Yes.
Oh man.
God.
Fucking
What a
hell.
dork. I gotta bully this guy. You're almost 30. He's 29. I'm just like,
How far would you let this go? Let's say that like your wife gets like suspicious that you have like an affair on the side, right? And instead of confronting you about it, she's like, I'm gonna get back at him. I'm gonna fuck his coworker Jake. And then Jake comes in and is like, hey, I had sex with your sister. I hope that's okay, man. And then you have to be like, yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
And then, it's just like there's so many ways this could go wrong. What was he thinking?
It's crazy because like the lie, I keep thinking about the lie at the beginning of I don't know what those pictures are, and it's like, dude, there's no way you are bringing your spinelessness here. Are you serious?
He must be cursing himself. The easy version of this lie is, it's my girlfriend.
Oh, wait.
But instead, he was immediately like, oh, that's my sister.
Wait, you're right. Wait, you just have to be like, oh, I'm just dating her. She's super hot, isn't she?
That's like a fling. I don't know if anything will come of it, you know?
And then you're like, guys, we hit it off.
She's my sister. Yeah, exactly.
Go back to sister. You're like,
man, I don't know.
This is
It's
crazy.
insane. It's unbelievable. It's like he made the worst possible choice at every single obstacle.
I like that he
and it's
locked
like, well, how
himself
does-
in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's good. It's just like, I think
Dork.
he made the worst possible choice constantly and then concluded with the worst possible choice, which is like confessing everything and then being like, but I aim to keep up this facade for as long as I can ride it out.
Wait, no, he says he'll tell people, right? He says he'll tell
Yes,
people.
Oh, no.
he does, he does.
said he'll confess at work or he'll quit his job if she wants him to. So then
Oh,
she's
my
the bad
God.
guy for making his office life so much
No,
worse.
I don't read it like that. I don't read it like that. I think
No,
saying-
he is being the same type of spineless coward. He's trying to continue perpetuating
That is
this
true.
lie.
Yeah.
And he's trying to be like, well, I did it because I feel like I had to. I can, of course, stop doing it if you want. And then she's going to have to be, no, if it's necessary to keep with company culture, you can keep it. Like, you know how this works.
Yeah. No, you're right. Thank you for pulling me back. No, this
As a
dude
lifelong
sucks.
coward. Oh, man.
Wow.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ. Oh, do we want to vote on this one? I think we have a special outcome for this guy.
Oh,
vote
yeah,
on
Oh
it.
yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got
Okay.
we got a button nice and
Mhm.
glowing on
All
all
right.
of our desks.
Decision time.
Folks, when it comes to this woman's brother, what are we thinking? 3, 2, 1, kill!
Bing, 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 bing.
All
You get the
right.
kill button. This is reserved for the most special of Redditors.
The council has spoken.
You guys want to call it here?
Yes.
Oh my God, what a disaster! And by that
Yep,
I mean, what a. I don't know.
yeah,
I
can't even think
get
of
over
a,
this
of a
guy.
bit here.
This guy sucks
This is
so
awesome.
bad.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.